did speak about the clean India, even the rural and urban sector. In fact, my Dr. Rao, he spoke about the region, the Ganga basin in and around Kanpur is a target area for implementing this Ganga regeneration. In fact, we come very close to that there are about 450 tanners in and around Kanpur, and we now look to work with them. How do we look for their sustainability? Friend, I am going to talk about CLRI's work, R&D output in terms of cleaner and greener technologies for the sustainable development of leather sector. Before going into it, just a brief about this sector. See, we are now looking at a target of about 27 billion turnover in the next 4 years. So, from a current 11 to 12 billion US dollars, this sector. We have the leather that is there around approximately around 2 to 3 billion now. We are now looking at processing about 6 billion square feet of leather. And we have an employment opportunity. We look at that, nearly about 2.5 to 3 million. We have an opportunity to get about 6 million job opportunity for our people, especially the weaker section of the people. So, this industry cannot afford to be missed, and these are the kind of targets, what we are talking about for different ones. The footwear, the leather product is going to be one of the largest product that is going to come out of leather. And as we say here, the critical challenge here is the environmental challenge. How do we make this process a sustainable one? That is where now we are looking at. This is the current discharge capacity of about 120,000 cubic meters per day. That is what the capacity of the effluent that is coming out. We do have, there are several common effluent treatment plants all over the industrial belts, and we are now looking at how economically and environmentally these treatment plants also could work, and we are now looking at, there are a lot of challenges. The salt is one, the chromium is one, and another, the large volume of sludge, the solid waste that is coming out of it. As somebody said, managing these wastes effectively is going to be a solution, but we are now looking at, there are 3 or 4 different approaches where we all talk about sustainability. Let me look at it. There are of course 3 phases of sustainability. We are looking at the social sustainability, environmental and economical, and of course all 3 are essential for any industrial sector to grow. And since this session is limited to clean, and let me concentrate on environmental sustainability. And we have end of pipe treatment, wherein in 1997 itself, when the Supreme Court ordered closure of more than 600 tanneries in and around Tamil Nadu, we are the 2 national laboratories, the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute as well as the Central Leather Research Institute, went down to every one of these sector and made special address to their treatment systems and ensured that they comply to pollution control norms. That is how we revived the sector at that point of time, but subsequently the Pollution Control Board, both the central and the state government have come out with different measures of containing, and today we should say in Tamil Nadu no wastewater is discharged outside. In fact, 100% the tanneries in Tamil Nadu are connected to zero liquid discharge. That means they use the water and then recover and then recycle using reverse osmosis. So, these are some of our, I am sorry for not so legible this. There are several environmental measures, as I said, the environmental end of pipe treatment measures, where we look at reducing the sludge, also improving upon various treatment options that goes with the minimization of sludge and also enhancing their operational capacities. In most of these technologies, we also look at how economically we can treat these effluents. Subsequently, we also work on several clean process and product technologies. I am going to talk here about, there are about a series of technologies what we develop, and we are looking at enzyme based or lime free technologies, and also we have dry tanning and waterless chrome tanning. And let me talk about the enzyme based liming process or lime free process that talks about the conventional use of lime gives tons of sludge, and whereas if you could resort to your bioprocessing methods, you can avoid use of conventional lime, which so that by not only you are getting into bioprocess, you are avoiding chemical, but also ensuring that the large volume of sludge that is being generated in out of this is reduced. And we have a technology here which are ready now for commercialization, and in about 2 years time we expect that this is going to change the total face of this industry, especially with that. And subsequently we also have something like a formaldehyde free synthetic tanning material. Again, when we talk about it, we also look at some of the chemicals which are going to be harmful, especially formaldehyde is one many of the chemical industry people might be knowing. So we have developed a formaldehyde free tanning system, and also we are looking at a dry tanning where a chrome tanning additive which has been found. This is going to be a game changing technology where we are now looking at avoiding use of salt during my chrome tanning process and also use of water. So that means it is a dry tanning, and we are now ensuring more than 99% of the chromium fixation. So this is again followed by a process which is now we are going to almost all places, especially the Kanpur, Kolkata, Jalandhar and several parts of Tamil Nadu as well. This is what we talk about the waterless chrome tanning, which is totally redefining my chrome tanning, which is conventionally a process where about 30% of my chromium salt is going down the effluent. And now with this process, we are not only avoiding 2 stages of my leather process, especially the salt, what we call as a pickling, the acid and salt being used, and also during the tanning, we do not use water at all. It is a floatless or a water free tanning system, and we ensure 100% chromium fixation. So that means no chromium is let out in the effluent. So this is, as I said, a complete elimination of water, no discharge of wastewater and high chromium content in my leather. What is going to happen in that process? The quality of my raw material that is coming out of after this process, the value is enhanced. The tanners are happy that they get a better product and with no cost for environment. So this, the success of this is, as I said, we are now taking it to almost all the clusters of this, and now we have international clients in Africa, especially Ethiopia, South Africa, Europe, in Netherlands, Brazil, Vietnam, almost all these countries we are taking up this technology. And subsequently, as you see here at various places how we have come done. Apart from that, as our speaker said, managing the waste is also one of the effort what we need to take. While we are looking at in-process control measures, now we are also looking at the waste that is coming out of this industry. You must be aware that the leather sector itself uses the byproduct of a meat industry. My hide or skin is coming as a byproduct from the meat industry. And now, anything that comes out of my leather process, the waste, so I am looking at the trims of or what we call, of the leather waste. So that is converted into a fiber and blended with cotton, made a yarn, and with that several products are made. And this is a technology what we have now very recently we have transferred to a Delhi based company. They are now making several of these products from the waste, and that is a regenerated leather what we call. And apart from that, there is several of my collagen based waste that is coming out of my leather processing. We are now converting them into high value gelatin and other biomedical elements. We have a surgical sutures, collagen wound healing or a burn dressing materials, collagen sheets. There are several of these things as we see here, and we have several technologies which are of high value technologies which will come from from these waste. These are the biomaterials. As I said, we also look at the zero wastewater discharge processes, where we are now looking at an electro-oxidation is one of the steps, where we are looking at several of these processes. The wastewaters are treated using an electro-oxidation, wherein my biological oxygen demand and chemical oxygen demands are addressed, and subsequently that water is recycled during the other in-process measures. Thereby, I reduce the solid waste as well as the liquid waste that is going out. And this again, this technology is one of the successful technology. Commercially, we have explored its return on investment as well, and it is an alternative solution for reverse osmosis, which is going to be a more expensive treatment measures. And we have this also demonstrated in two of the tanners, one in Kanpur and another one in Tamil Nadu. And these are, as I said, where we address to that as an issue. This is the equipment setup we have in this, and it is a viable one. As we say here, the return on investment is about 2.5 to 3 years, the investments that goes for this. And especially in my futuristic one, let me give you a minute video where I am going to just you can connect an audio, there is no audio, So this is a process where the fresh skins from slaughterhouse, as you see here, and usually it is about more than per kilo of our hydra skin, an equal amount of salt is being added to preserve. But now we are having a totally a saltless curing system, where you would see here, they are now looking at certain liquid polymers and some of those things, as a solution, where as you see here, they just dip the raw hide or skin and then they pile it. It's just easy to apply, and then they pile it for about 6 days or so at a room temperature, and you would see this can be preserved without salt for up to 6 months also. But interestingly, after 7 days, we just see the hair is coming out of this. So this is a 2-in-1 advantage what we have noticed. When we use this, a technique, and now we get, my hair is also removed out of this. So I get a completely, the unhairing, which is going to be a more environmentally challenging process in the leather. This is now addressed here. At the same time, I can preserve this material for about 6 months. So that is what I'm saying. So within 7 days, as you see here, this is coming on. So this is something which now we are looking at, but with all these technologies, I'm sure, once these things are collectively, we are as an institution, we are looking towards several of our technology mission programs of the Government of India, where we are still working with the Ganga regeneration, especially with the Ministry of Water Resources for the Kanpur region, and of course with several other ministries to take up the leather sector's sectoral programs to the newer heights. I thank every one of you for your patient listening.